So in this video, I wanted to share a very interesting story with you on how I was trying absolutely everything. I always knew that I was destined for more, and I was trying absolutely everything, trying to make money online, trying to do this, learning from this, etc. Nothing was working until this one shift that happened and everything changed. And I was finally able to make not just a couple thousand, I'm talking tens, now today's date, hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. Right now, it's 3:24 in the morning, AM, but I just finished a coaching call with one of my students, and this is the story that I shared with him, and I wanted to share with you guys on YouTube as well. And I think you're going to find a lot of value from it because it's simply just my story, and I want you to try and take as much information and lessons from it because, look, I think success leaves clues. And I wish I had somebody to teach me what I'm about to share with you guys on this video, right? I think it all starts off with, I won't go completely from day one, but when I was still a kid or a teenager, I always, even when I was in school, in college, I always knew that I was destined for more. I always, at a young age, looked at older peers or teachers, and I always looked at where they're at in life, and it never really represented where I wanted to be at. I always wanted to be able to do all the cool shit. I think majority of people do deep inside. Some cope and say they don't really care about it, but everybody does to an extent. And I always saw people who worked in state agencies and who were managers of these like restaurants and perhaps like teachers and stuff. I never really got like that feeling of like, wow, like you are somebody that I want to look up to and learn from and be in your position. Never had that. So instead, I always thought, okay, well, who are the people that are making a lot of money? And these were people who are running businesses, right? They were the owners of these certain companies, etc. And long story short, it was at the age of 17 when I was just about to turn 18. Unfortunately, my father passed away, and that was a turning point from this is now just an idea, something that I really want, to, okay, I must achieve this. So sometimes in life, you have to have these quite critical turning points for you to realize, well, time is quite scarce, time is running out, and you must take action now. It's the longer you leave it, the harder it will become. So at the age of 18, I started thinking, okay, how can I make money for myself? Okay, sure, you can work a job, blah, blah, but if you put in an hour of work, you'll get paid an X amount. It doesn't matter how hard you work. That concept never made sense to me. I had a door-to-door job one time, and that changed my perspective on how worth your time is, because it doesn't make sense to put in X amount of work for an hour and get paid the same amount when somebody else puts half the amount of work as you and gets also paid the same amount. That also never made sense to me. So none of it ever made any sense. The idea of being in school, being told what to do when you don't want to, be in a place where you don't want to be, to then go to a place called university to get a massive loan or to pay the money that you have, which I didn't have, right? So to get a loan, then you're in debt for the rest of your life. None of it really made any sense. So I started learning how to make money online, and the first thing that came to me was marketing. I went to college in a place called Bury St Edmunds in the UK, and the college is called West Suffolk College. And I learned media, which is essentially marketing. It's video creation, editing, and everything of that nature. And I naturally enjoyed it because it wasn't like English, like writing or numbers or science. I just found all that shit boring. Whereas content creation, I found it quite interesting. I think the reason why I found it interesting is because I found value in it. I could already foresee in the future that it's valuable. If you can put a film together, when I say a film, like literally just this YouTube video, for example, if you understand the fundamentals of how people watch things, what improves watch rate, how to edit certain things, etc., I always knew that was going to come in handy, and it has, right? So anyway, I'd done that in college, and that was the skill that I had learned. I dropped out of college after the first year because, like I said, I didn't want to go to university, and that was the one skill that I had, which was content creation. So yeah, that was the first kind of offer that I tried to make money with. So I reached out to local businesses, and this is where the story starts, right? So I reached out to local businesses, and I was doing like 100 to 200 cold calls every single day, going on Google, searching car dealerships near me, clicking on this number, typing it in, cool, no answer. Going on Google, searching, typing a number in, cool, oh, answered, no thank you. Over and over. Imagine doing that like 99 times. And then on the 100th time, there would be the odd person that goes, okay, I'm interested. And then you can finally try to book a meeting in with, 1 out of 100 people that you've spoken to. And on that meeting, you're an 18-year-old, trying to sell your video marketing services when you have no portfolio, you don't even know what the fuck you're doing, etc. But somehow, step by step, very, very, very slowly, I offered free trials or, basically free videos, free adverts for local businesses. I built up my portfolio, and then I started selling my services for like £100, £150, £200, just like $200, and very slowly built up my way that way. And back then, like I said, I was 18. It was incredible. The idea of making $200 from just thin air, because I literally just held a camera, then I went home, I edited a little video, sent it to them, and that was it. So to me, I was making money from thin air, right? And at that point, I was living in a council estate, completely broke. I had about £400/dollars to my name, and that was incredible to me, right? But the thing that me and my student were talking about is the fact that it actually takes so much effort to get a business up and running off the ground until this one switch, which I'm going to get to in just a second, like I said at the beginning of the story. So typically a business, a service-based business, let's just say you're doing SMMA, a marketing agency. It's so difficult. It's possible, right? I'm not saying it's impossible, but you just have so much competition. You don't have any results to leverage compared to all the other competitors. You probably don't know what you're talking about because you've never done social media marketing. So you're brand new to it. You're trying to sell something that you don't know what you're doing. And the biggest thing is every single person that you're reaching out to, they have all, well, maybe not all of them, but 99% of them have been burnt in the past, so they have a bad experience with a marketing agency like yourselves. So you're fighting an uphill battle. There is so much competition. You're having to fucking pick up the phone and call people that don't want to talk to you. They put the phone down. But even when they do pick up the phone and they speak with you, they don't really want to speak with you because they've had some bad experiences and so on. So the point that we both agreed on, me and my student, is the fact that, these business models like SMMA, even things like e-commerce, it's a different business model, but even e-com and dropshipping, because they've been around for so long and there are so many people doing it, it's pretty difficult to actually find success in. Again, I'm not saying it's impossible. Anything you put your mind to it at 110% effort and every single day consistently, you're going to find success. But why would you try and push like a massive rock up a hill? Wouldn't it be easier to move it further if it was downhill? You just kind of push it, the momentum's already there, it's easier for you. So that was then the shift that I needed, which was, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, yeah, cool, I'm making like 5-6K. I think I scaled my agency to about 12,000 a month, which is like a peak profit, that is. But that took me like a year and a half. Nearly 2 years. And then I saw some other people, making so much money online, and it was a lot faster. And I was like, I'm missing something, surely. And it wasn't until I was in Spain, I was on holiday. Not really holiday, I was just traveling around the world at this point. This was kind of COVID time, 2020. I was traveling around the world and I was in Spain at this point. And long story short, I met up with this girl and she was doing OnlyFans. And of course, I know what OnlyFans was at the time, but I never looked at it as a business in any way, shape or form. I was just like, it's just this bullshit ass website that these girls sell their titties on, titty pictures. Great, you do you, but what am I gonna do? Anyway, she showed me how much money she was making from what she was doing. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Well, why don't you make more? What's stopping you from scaling it? She was like, she doesn't really treat it as a business at all. She was like, but 2 problems. She doesn't know how to market her OnlyFans link, and then also she doesn't have the time to do it all by herself. And I was like, brilliant. Well, I know how to do marketing. I've been doing that shit for the last 2 years. I feel like I'm pretty good at it now, and I have quite a lot of time on my hands. I'm gonna help you. And that's essentially how I started OnlyFans management without realizing what it was. And I was the first person to pioneer it. There's still a YouTube video on my channel. I'm hopefully gonna put a screen recording up here. All the way back in, I think I uploaded that first video, I think it was like 2022 or 21 is when I started posting on YouTube about it. I tested everything that I could by myself. At the beginning of this video, like I said, there was this one thing that just shifted. And that one thing that shifted was, it's the whole red ocean, blue ocean. The idea is that if everybody's over here and there's so much competition and everyone's trying to like beat each other on price and it's just a bullshit shit show, you gotta take a step back and look at what else you could do. How could you shift the offer? How could you perhaps look at kind of the same idea, but just in a different avenue, a different audience? And what I'm trying to explain to you guys is OFM technically is the same business model as SMMA, apart from there is way less competition, the profit margins are way higher, the business model as a whole is way easier and simpler, And also, you're not to the mercy of like Mark Zuckerberg. If he bans your Facebook account or your social media, whatever, you can still run your business. Biggest thing is the supply and demand being heavily in your favor. With something like SMMA, supply and demand isn't really in your favor in any way, shape, or form. If you speak to like even 1,000 restaurant owners or 1,000 chiropractors or 1,000 dentists, it doesn't matter. Out of 1,000, maybe 10 of them will be like, yeah, I actually need somebody to help me with marketing, and they're ready to pay, right? Most of them are going to be like, yeah, we have somebody doing marketing, or yeah, we probably should, but it doesn't really work. We tried it, Like, most people don't want to do it. With OFM, you speak with a lot of these potential clients. A lot of them will message you. Like, we get inbound messages every single day. Imagine you start a business and you have people messaging you asking to work with you straight away. That doesn't happen in any other industry as far as I know. So that is the shift that changed everything for me. It's almost like I saw the grass actually being greener on the other side. Typically that isn't the case, but with OFM, it absolutely is. Do the research yourself if you wish. There are so many models online that need an agency, to the point where we can't even take them on all ourselves. I have an entire coaching program where I teach exactly how to start, how to get your first client, and how to scale them. And in that coaching program, in this community, whenever a model comes to me and I speak with her and she isn't qualified to work with us, maybe perhaps of her earnings or her location, or perhaps how much time she has to put into it, because we work with clients who can put 110% effort into it and do this as a full-time job. If she doesn't qualify, we will simply tell her, hey, look, we have other agencies we can partner you with, boom, and then our students get a client like that. There isn't really anything else that I know that is even of similar business model like this, and it's just crazy. It's crazy how I spent like 2 years pulling my hair out, doing like cold calls that I didn't want to do, sending out Loom videos that I didn't want to do, even working with the clients that I didn't want to work with for like $5K a month. Whereas with this, we have one model making $82,000 a month and we take 50%. That's one model. You do the maths. We're doing okay. And I just wanted to, the point of this video is hopefully somebody that's watching this, if you're in a stage and you can relate to the feeling of kind of like fighting an uphill battle, like you're putting in all this effort, like you really want to make money, you want to start a business, and you want to finally find something of success, but every single thing that you do just doesn't seem to quite work, or it's very, very, very slow progress. And you're just seeing everybody else get all these cars and travel, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, what am I missing out here on? OFM might be the answer, my friend. So if you're interested, check out the links down below. Message me on Instagram. I'd love to talk to you at Marcus Hustle. And yeah, man, I really, really think that this is the business model. This is it. This is so simple. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. This is more like a sit down and just talk, one of them ones. And yeah, leave a like on the video. Thank you so much. I'll catch you on the next one.